Happy WrestleMania Day, or wait, no, that's a different day. Happy Raw Netflix Day, but it certainly feels like it's a WrestleMania. The card is stacked, and I gotta tell you, I slept like it was WrestleMania, which means I didn't really sleep that much at all. I'm so excited. This couldn't come soon enough. It's one of the biggest days in the history of WWE. So let's break down this card. Let's take a look at your bold predictions for the show, and let's not waste any time. So before we get into it, make sure you leave a like on this video, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, turn on those notifications, and keep coming back every single day because we upload wrestling videos every single day. And I'm also going to post a second video today with your guys' bold predictions for the entire year of 2025. So first video is this one, another one dropping later today. All right, let's get into them. So I asked you over on Twitter to submit any bold predictions that you have for this first episode of Raw on Netflix, and a lot of you had some great replies. The first one being, The Rock confronts Roman Reigns. Now, this is definitely a big time possibility on this show. We know The Rock is a member of the board of TKO, meaning that he knows how big this show is. He knows how big of a deal Raw on Netflix is, and The Rock showing up would instantly make a lot of people want to tune into Netflix if they missed it, or it will reward the people who tuned in for the very first time because they get to see the freaking Rock. And also, anybody who maybe stopped watching in the past will recognize The Rock. Anybody who just knows a tiny little bit about pro wrestling knows who Dwayne The Rock Johnson is. This would be a massive name to get on the show, and it certainly feels like we're going to get it. But it's not just a big moment to have The Rock on the show, right? He could come out, raise an eyebrow, say, if you smell, all that type of stuff, right? He could do his Rock shtick, but the best part of Rock being on this show is he could directly impact one of the biggest storylines going in WWE. Roman Reigns is set to face Solo Sikoa with the Ula Fala on the line, the head of the table, the tribal chief title on the line, which is arguably the biggest thing in WWE. And Rock could very well cost Roman Reigns, or could be the next step. If Roman Reigns does get the Ula Fala back, then there's really only one person left for Roman to face after that, and it's The Rock. Or there's definitely the possibility that we get no Rock on the show, and we get a big swerve with the Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa match, because there's somebody who's involved with this feud right now in the name of Drew McIntyre, and Drew McIntyre has been targeting the bloodline, and eventually it feels like we're going to get that big match between Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns. In fact, if Rock isn't available for WrestleMania, Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns could be the WrestleMania match for the Tribal Chief. Sorry, the OTC. Like as Mark Jones says, The Rock does not appear on this episode in person. Instead, it's Drew McIntyre that cost Roman the Ula Fala as part of his Bloodline Hunter story arc. This sets up a match between Roman and Drew for either the Rumble or Elimination Chamber, and it also could go on to WrestleMania if Rock isn't available at all. But I also love the idea of The Rock getting the Ula Fala. What if Solo Sikoa loses, right? But Paul Heyman has been this master manipulator all along, and what if The Rock shows up and Paul Heyman just puts the Ula Fala around The Rock? Or better yet, what if The Rock shows up, costs Roman Reigns this match, Solo Sikoa is there, and it looks like we're about to put the Ula Fala on Solo Sikoa, and Paul Heyman has to go with the new bloodline because Roman lost, only for Paul Heyman to put the Ula Fala around The Rock's shoulders. Can you imagine if Paul Heyman turns and joins forces with The Rock voluntarily? Like, there's so many different directions we can go with this story, and I love that WWE is keeping us on our toes, because we don't know if Dwayne is going to be a part of WrestleMania this year. We don't know if Roman's actually going to win back the Ula Fala. We don't know if WWE wants to continue to push Solo Sikoa and the new bloodline in the main event scene with the Ula Fala, and we don't know where Paul Heyman's allegiance lies. Does his allegiance even lie with either of the bloodline? Is he with CM Punk? There is so many things that could happen here tonight, and I just can't wait, man. Bring on Raw on Netflix. Bring it on, man. Where is 8 p.m.? It's only 12:33. I gotta wait 7.5 hours, damn it. Give it to me.
Give me what I want.
Because it's not only about The Rock and Roman and Solo. There's so much more going on. We have a legitimate WrestleMania main event match, a first time ever matchup with Seth Rollins versus CM Punk. Are you kidding me? This is Christmas. And as Carter Slade says, he thinks Seth Rollins will be the one to defeat CM Punk. And this would be a wild moment, because obviously if we're looking at the story WWE is trying to tell, CM Punk coming back, getting injured, wanting to have that WrestleMania main event, only for his foe, his bitter enemy in Seth Rollins to basically be this thorn in his side, who's probably not going to let him get that WrestleMania main event for a world title. Who knows if they actually main event WrestleMania themselves, but like he's definitely going to be a thorn in his side. We don't know what the direction is. We don't know if CM Punk is going to be built up for that world title or if he's going to be built up for a match against Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. So if Seth Rollins wins here, then we're probably looking at some form of trilogy. If CM Punk wins here tonight, I don't know how we get another match out of this, because CM Punk all of a sudden really doesn't want to face Seth Rollins. He was looking past him before Seth Rollins got right in his face, right? He was looking beyond. He was already pointing at the imaginary WrestleMania sign that wasn't there. He was thinking about the Royal Rumble, but Seth Rollins interjecting himself, being once again that thorn in his side and focusing on CM Punk, making sure CM Punk has to focus on him. Dude, if CM Punk wins this thing clean, I don't know where Seth Rollins goes. It almost feels like it has to be Seth Rollins that wins this match. Otherwise, this feud is pretty much done, right? Everything that Seth Rollins has said, everything Rollins has preached to the universe for the better part of a year, it needs to culminate with Rollins winning, right? It would feel weird. It would feel cheap if CM Punk just walks out with the win. But we all know WWE doesn't really have logic sometimes, and so I think they're probably just going to give the win to CM Punk, give him a big win over Seth Rollins, and then the story for Seth Rollins is how he reclaims himself, how he rebuilds himself, how he redesigns himself once again. Like, that could very well be the direction. I mean, there's lots of rumors that maybe there's a faction building with Kevin Owens, Drew McIntyre, and Seth Rollins of some sort. So maybe this could be the catalyst to get Rollins into that story where he really does need some friends because he can't get it done himself. But to me, man, I think the more intriguing story is Seth Rollins beating CM Punk and making CM Punk's road to WrestleMania very, very murky. I think that's the better way to go, but we'll find out here tonight. Who do you think should win, Rollins or Punk? Another massive match that we have, though, is Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley for the women's world title. And this person right here, Omar, says Liv shocks the world and retains by beating Rhea clean. This is definitely a possibility. Like, we could absolutely see Rhea Ripley lose clean here tonight to put over Liv Morgan on her road to WrestleMania. But if I'm taking a look at the WrestleMania card, I feel like Rhea Ripley is still the bigger star, and I feel like Rhea Ripley could have a bigger marquee match at WrestleMania than Liv Morgan can. And this is not a shot at Liv Morgan. I think Liv Morgan has crushed it as women's world champion, but there hasn't been enough people feuding with her. There hasn't been enough unique feuds to warrant Liv Morgan winning this thing with Rhea Ripley. Would it be wonderful for Liv Morgan? Abso-freaking-lutely. Would it make a new star in Liv Morgan? Absolutely. Would it be great TV to see Liv Morgan continue on as women's world champ and to see what Rhea Ripley has to do next? 100%. Do I think that's what WWE is doing? No. I think they're putting that title back on Rhea Ripley, whether it's a match against Io Sky at WrestleMania, or a rematch against Becky Lynch, or a rematch against a Charlotte Flair, or who knows what they might want to do with that one. There's so many different directions they could take Rhea Ripley in, but it does sound like it would be more of a rehash of the past, that WWE is just not quite ready to make that new true star with Liv Morgan. Am I hoping for Liv Morgan to retain? Yes, I think she should. Do I think she's going to, though? No, unfortunately. I think Rhea Ripley wins here tonight. Still a big fan of Mommy, though. Don't get me wrong. John Cena announces that he will declare for the Royal Rumble. This could happen. In fact, I think it probably should happen. This is John Cena's retirement tour, right? He's on his last run in the WWE. And for John Cena to have the most impactful run, he needs to be featured in all the big matches. Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber. He needs to have a match at WrestleMania. He probably should be on an international show after WrestleMania if WWE takes Backlash International again. Then he should be at SummerSlam. He should have a match inside of War Games this year. Like, John Cena should be in everything. John Cena should even be in Money in the Bank. Like, if we look at this story for Cena, he could go through the entire year coming up short, coming that close. Imagine John Cena does show up and he does get some sort of promo segment with Gunther, and that's the WrestleMania match, and it's Gunther versus John Cena at the biggest, grandest stage of them all, and Cena loses. Then all of a sudden it's about, how does John Cena try to get that 17th championship once again? How does John Cena get to that moment? He might need Money in the Bank. Maybe John Cena is the 2025 Money in the Bank winner. This is the start of his retirement tour, and there's so many big moments coming up for John. So let me know, what do you think his retirement tour is going to look like? But tonight, if I'm guessing what's going on with John, he goes out here, announces his retirement tour, and Gunther steps up to them. building up to that match at WrestleMania. I need Cena versus Gunther. Now, this is a bold one. Brock Lesnar is going to return tonight on Netflix. The Beast Incarnate is back. Personally, I don't see this happening tonight. I think John Cena coming back is a big enough name. I think if The Rock shows up, it's a big enough name, and any other swerve that WWE wants to do. They don't need Brock Lesnar for this show, especially considering what comes with the name Brock Lesnar. There's a lot of things going on in real life that is going to make a lot of people upset if they see Brock brought back. Do I think WWE wants Brock Lesnar back in the fray? Hell yeah. They would love to run a Brock Lesnar versus Gunther match, or they'd love to run Brock Lesnar versus Braun Breaker. There's these matches that they definitely want to have with Brock in the future, but they also know that there's a lot of negativity and a lot of negative press that will come with it. WWE wants this to be the most pristine, best match, how can I describe this? This is the best.
Go ahead, find it. Go ahead. Oh, wait.
The best non-controversial programming that they can possibly run. They don't want negative press coming out of this show. They want it to all be positive. Everybody talking up the show. And if Brock Lesnar shows up, 90% of the reports are going to be around Brock coming back. And it's going to be about what's going on in his personal life and what happened with the previous regime in WWE. They want a fresh start. I cannot for the life of me see Brock Lesnar being brought back on this very first episode of Raw on Netflix. Maybe in the middle of the year, maybe when they can hide it after WrestleMania or something like that, possibly. But right now, today, no, I cannot see Brock being back. There will be a shocking return. Bliss is going to come out with Howdy. Definitely would love to see Alexa Bliss come back to WWE, and if there is a big moment for her, it would be with Uncle Howdy on this debut episode of Raw on Netflix. This is one of the big stories WWE has kind of left for a long time that fans are wondering, is it ever going to be followed up on? What is Alexa Bliss' affiliation with the Wyatt Six? Is there any? Is there any more stories that we need to tell about when she left from WWE, right? When she was gone for all those years. There is a lot to get into with Alexa Bliss, and I definitely think that her coming back would be a marquee moment of this show, especially if it's something to do with the Wyatt Six. If Alexa Bliss is available, but she doesn't want to do anything with the Wyatts, I think we keep her for another time. We do something else with Alexa Bliss in a few weeks or in a month or at the Royal Rumble. Maybe she returns during that. But if she's available and interested to work with the Wyatt Six, have her show up tonight. You got 3+ hours for Monday Night Raw. Why wouldn't you have this spooky session with Alexa Bliss returning and Uncle Howdy and the Wyatt Six back there? I think it could make for some excellent TV. We need to see it. Bring back Alexa. But going back to John Cena, what if John Cena isn't involved with Gunther whatsoever and they want to build to Logan Paul versus John Cena? I know that Logan Paul just announced that he's switching over to Raw, which means he will be a part of Raw on Netflix, although some people were saying that he was retiring or something like that. I kind of figured that that was a ruse. It was just a kind of look over here, I'm retiring. Oh wait, no, I'm not. I'm back. John Cena, Logan Paul would absolutely be a marquee match. Can you picture John Cena on Logan Paul's podcast after the fact? It would be a big moment to have these two face each other. And if we're talking about John Cena's retirement tour, people who he could face along the way, Logan Paul could be one of those people. Look, we don't have to already get into every single feud right out of the gate, but if we had Cena interact with Gunther and then Cena interact with Logan Paul, maybe then we start to get a look into what's to come for this year for John Cena, right? We get to see maybe his progression of events. Maybe that's what WWE wants to do. They want to tease all the matches that could come with John Cena returning to WWE tonight on Netflix. What if there's a Joe Hendry segment with John Cena? What if there is, like I said, Logan Paul, Gunther? Maybe they want somebody else. Like, oh God, I don't know. Like, maybe they want like Damian Priest to go against John Cena, have a big time moment that way. But speaking of Joe Hendry, if Joe Hendry is actually available and WWE wanted to have a crazy pop just for one night, they could absolutely bring Joe Hendry in on the Netflix show. If it's anything like his debut in NXT, the place will lose their minds. It does feel like Joe Hendry and the hype around Joe Hendry has died out. It felt like it was more of a 2024 thing, and it's not being brought with us into 2025. But one way to bring it with us into this year is to have him show up on Monday Night Raw, get people so invested in this guy once again, and then maybe, who knows, maybe he's available to be called up. Maybe he gets a little more over in TNA and then shows up in WWE once again. There's directions for Joe Hendry, but if they want a massive pop, a one-off pop, this would be the way to do it. But now going back to the women's division, what about a Becky Lynch return? What if Becky Lynch returns and stares down the winner of Rhea Ripley or Liv Morgan? We do know that Liv Morgan and Becky Lynch obviously have unfinished business with each other, and you could also argue Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley have unfinished business with each other. What if it's like some sort of triple threat moving forward? There's a lot of different directions, but if Becky Lynch is available to return, let's bring her back ASAP. She's a great wrestler. She's a great star, and her star power is kind of missing on Monday Night Raw right now. Could definitely benefit from having her around. Don't call her Becky Hogan, because you guys are lame. Everybody who calls anybody somewhat Hogan, except for Hulk Hogan, is lame, okay? All right? If you're that person saying Becky Hogan, Sammy Hogan, whatever Hogan, you suck, all right? You suck. So don't call her Becky Hogan. Watch, now the comments are just going to say Becky Hogan. Great. Another person who could show up, and it would be a massive debut for WWE, is Penta. If you don't know much about Penta, you definitely want to check him out from Lucha Underground. Check him out from AEW. Excellent talent. I'm pretty sure he's got a lot in AAA. I don't know everywhere he's been, but there's a lot of great moments with Penta out there. Penta could debut tonight. It's definitely possible, as Rey Mysterio is set to have a mystery partner. We don't know who that person could be. It could be literally anybody from the LWO. It could be anybody from outside of the world of wrestling. It could be anyone from NXT. But my official prediction is that it's going to be Penta debuting alongside of Rey Mysterio. And then I am taking this from Santi. Okay, this is not my idea. I don't know if it was his idea originally, but I saw it from his Twitter page. He suggested that they put Zelina Vega with Penta and turn Penta and Zelina Vega heel against the LWO. I think that's like the best thing they could possibly do. Oh my God, that would be amazing. As much as I want to see Zelina Vega back with Andrade, that would be a step up. It would be a change in direction. It would be a step forward for Zelina, and it would be a great way to give a mouthpiece to Penta, who, by the way, could look so dope as a heel in WWE. This needs to happen, in my opinion. Please, just no, don't even put this out there into existence. Game Genix says Hulk Hogan announces he's entering the Royal Rumble. Hell no, brother. And then Dr. Brandon over here from January 5th at 7:12 p.m. saying it goes past 11:30 due to the no time cap. Is this guy like a time traveler or something like that? Bro, where did you come from? Because apparently WWE RAW is going to be airing for around 3.5 hours tonight. The no time cap on Netflix opens up this world of possibilities for WWE. Some shows may go shorter, some shows may go longer, and it certainly looks like tonight we're going to go longer. But this dude, I think I need to ask this man what the lottery numbers were, like, in a month or something like that, because right here, how did you predict the future like this? But it's gonna be an insane night tonight on Netflix. Make sure you tune into my live stream on YouTube and Twitch, as we'll be live reacting to the entire show. I can answer any questions that you can have, any things that are going on we'll talk about in real time, so make sure you come join our watch along, once again live on YouTube and Twitch. And also, while you're here, make sure you leave a like on this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and turn on those notifications so you never miss another upload. This is a big day, everybody, so happy Raw and Netflix Day. I'll see you tonight for the live stream. This is crazy, groundbreaking moment happening tonight.